What time is it? I'm trying to figure it out right now. Okay. I mean, I think we'll have a better indication after practice, but yeah, it is what it is, and I think our guys did the best job they can, and some guys were able to sleep, and other guys weren't able to sleep, and that's just part of it. A little bit. I don't know. Am I coming across as cranky? Not yet. All right. No, I'm used to. I'm not worried about us as coaches. Probably should be, but we're used to not getting much sleep, so not too much out of the ordinary. Yeah, I think it's going to be, one of the keys to the game. I think, especially when you look at from New York's perspective in terms of some of the adversity they're facing from an offensive standpoint. Obviously, missing some key pieces, and then Daniel Jones is whether or not he plays, and he's a little banged up right now. So that's the number one rushing unit in all of ball. So it's going to be absolutely critical. And then we got to do a good job because our backs are two of our best players. So we've got to get those guys involved. And then I think if you look at New York's defense, situationally, they're one of the best in ball, both in the red zone and on third down. So the running game can alleviate just some of the stress that gets put on you in those situations if you're not running the ball effectively.
Matt, Aaron said after your win against the Patriots, we have to start with better rhythm and start faster. Is that easier said than done, or how do you talk about it in a week like this?
Yeah, I think that's what we're always trying to do, and each game has its own set of challenges, and but certainly that's the goal each and every week is to get out there and start fast and hopefully play from it while you're ahead, and unfortunately it hasn't always gone that way for us this year.
How much do you just try to keep this week normal, or you just say, it's not normal, so we can't even think about it?
Well, you try to keep everything just with your process. You want to stay in your rhythm, but it certainly has felt anything but normal. We made some adjustments that I think were good in terms of we installed the entire plan in all three phases before we left. That way, our guys kind of got a little bit of a sneak peek yesterday in practice with some of the red zone stuff, which we traditionally leave for Fridays. But just knowing that, getting off a plane, not much sleep, just anticipating the attention span in those meetings is probably not going to be what it normally is. So it was important for us to at least install the plan, and then we'll walk through today. So nothing's going to be full speed today, and that's just how we adjusted.
Not just in making concessions or preparations, because at home sometimes your crowd doesn't know what to do. Here you could have a bunch of people that don't know.
You said that. I didn't. I love our fans. Our fans are the best in the world, period.
Also be loud when you have the ball.
There's been a time or two where we get that "Go Pack Go" chant when we're in a critical situation at the end of the game last week, and you're trying to quiet them down. But no, it's just it's a challenge.
But you may have people in the stands now that don't understand all that stuff. So did you have to practice anything? Did you work any kind of silent stuff this week?
Yeah,
Because of that?
our guys are used to working the silent count, and I think any time that you're playing a neutral site game, that you got to account for that and be ready for that situation to arise.
And Coach, we know you're strong on the power of being positive, something that's instilled in you by the time you was a cheer coach yourself. How does that transition into the present day where you're integrating guys like Robert Dark, Watson, and given the fact that you're playing the managers?
In terms of our positive mentality and mindset,
Yeah, how do you carry that over and make sure that you guys stay?
who you been talking to? I'm not always positive. Try to be, but no, it's just it's basically you know, we talk about competitive greatness, being your best when your best is required, regardless of the circumstance. And this is the circumstance we're faced. So, you know, we gotta handle it the best way possible. And thankfully, our guys have done such a great job of. I think our guys are. If you ask our team, they're excited to be here. They're ready to play. Just to change it up a little bit. I think a lot of our players, it's their first experience over here, and so you know, I think they're really excited for it.
Matt, obviously the walkthrough's different than what you do on a typical Friday, but as a day as a whole, how did you laid out the schedule today? How different is it to a typical Friday?
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty different today in terms of just. I would equate the feeling and the preparation more towards a Thursday night game than your typical, you know, 7 days off or even 6 days for that matter. This has more of a Thursday type feel in terms of how we went about our practice. Now, it was great that we did get one full day of full speed work yesterday, or what was that, like 8 hours ago or something? So we did get some full speed work in.
What kind of things are you doing today or maybe not doing today that you do on a typical?
See, you guys have tricked me into giving our whole game plan out.
It's almost all in the past.
No, I know. That's what I figured. We're already to this point now, so it doesn't matter. So go ahead. Sorry. Go-
I'm just curious, what kind of things are you doing today or maybe not doing today that you do on a typical Friday Sunday game?
Yeah, so a typical Friday would have a couple red zone periods where we're going full speed, and then we like to take off the back half of practice, and it's more of a jog through tempo. Whereas today it's all going to be jog through. We're not out there quite as long as we typically are. I think it's just important to be real intentional about our work. Be out there, make it short, try to keep the guys focused, and then let them do whatever they want to do in terms of going to see London or whatever. But the key for our guys is we got to keep them up past a certain time. We don't want them to go take a nap right after this and then be all kind of out of whack for the game. I can't tell you that. I will tomorrow, though.
Coach, as one of NFL's most storied franchises, how would it feel to be the first Pakistan coach to lead the team out for a regular season game?
You just gave me chills thinking about that, man. No, it's going to be great. It's a great opportunity for us to represent our brand, and you know, the Packer brand is definitely strong. So, I'm hoping we see a lot of Packer jerseys out there tomorrow, and the fans will be nice and loud. We got one right here. I love it. Look good in that.
What's the optimism with Jair and Smash?
Well, Smash is still in the protocol, so we'll see where he's at. And then, you know, we'll see how Jair gets through practice, Schneidman.
Are you gonna leave the hotel?
Is he here? He's not here, huh?
He's here tonight.
That was for him.
Are you gonna leave the hotel tonight? I know you said in the past.
I'm not. No. Totally focused on the game, and it's just there's some stuff I want to make sure that from a game planning standpoint that we're squared away with. But I'll let the other guys do what they got to do, and hopefully I can get over here in the summertime.
Hey, Coach, this is the first time that both teams playing in London had a winning record and for all games at home. What message do you have for the UK Packers fans?
Show up in force and be really, really loud. I want it to feel like how when we watch, you know, some of the Premier League soccer games and or football. I don't want to disrespect soccer out there, but especially when we're on defense and when we score, okay? But when we're on offense, keep it nice and quiet.
Coach Wink, obviously, lots of pressure, right?
Mhm.
Lots of pressure specifically. What are your thoughts on facing him and sort of really that front seven?
Yeah, anytime you go against a defense coached by Wink, it's a great challenge. And I've had a few bad experiences in my career. I know a couple years back in Tennessee, he really put it on us. I think we had barely over 100 yards of offense, and it was probably one of the most humbling moments in my career in terms of just I mean, we got it taken to us. So I think he does just a great job of keeping you off balance. You really aren't quite sure what you're going to get. It's so game plan driven. We played them last year, and they had a lot of adversity they were facing. They had a lot of guys out, and he had a very unique game plan in terms of he was going to take number 17 away for us, and so it just you're not quite sure what you're going to get, but some of the looks he presents to you definitely gives you some big time challenges, especially in the pass game with some of the protections, also in the run game, because we know that at any time he could bring both corners off the edge, or just give you some really tough looks. So, but I like the plan we have. Now we got to go out there and execute, and just be ready to adjust.
How much do you think that the banged up joint secondary would
How much their secondary? Yeah, I think I mean, anytime you lose players in this league, it presents more of a challenge. You're talking about less experienced players. I mean, there's a reason why guys are starters in the first place. So you never want to lose your starters. So it definitely, I mean, every team in the league has challenges, though. It's every week.
Coach, how have possibly not known who's at the start?
Yeah, well, you gotta take your best guess at it, and have a good plan in case it goes in another direction. And I think our defensive coaches have done a nice job with that.
Does it help that you went through that a week ago? Mean anything?
Yeah, I think you try to learn from every experience, but this personnel is a little bit different, obviously different scheme, and you just be ready to adjust.
Two more, please.
Coach, do you feel like there's any extra pressure on you to perform this week, given the anticipation of this game, given it's 15 years in the making?
No, I don't think so. I think every week there's pressure on you to perform, and so you can never take it for granted in this league. The competitive balance and the parity is there's not a lot that separates these teams. So you see it on a weekly basis. Teams that you would never expect to win, and vice versa. So you have to go out there. You got to perform to your best each and every time you step on the field. And our guys know that. We realize that, and we got a lot of respect for not only the players of the Giants, and but also the coaching staff. And I mean, they're 3-1 for a reason, and they've put some good tape out there for people to watch.
Matt, what's the challenge when it comes to game planning this year versus in the past when you had a guy like Devontae? Now you've got 5, 6, 7 plus.
I think it's more you're talking offensively, obviously. I think it's more from our quarterback standpoint. I think a lot of people have a different plan for him, and that's the one thing that you kind of get used to along the way, is you really truly don't know what to expect, and so you better have answers for what you think potentially, or whichever way it could go. I remember going back to year one, always talking about tendencies with Aaron, and he would always kind of laugh at me, and I was like, well, I mean, that's what they're showing on tape, and it didn't take long to realize I know why he's laughing, because just because they show that doesn't mean they're going to do that. And so you better have well thought out plans. You better understand where areas where you've been hurt in the past, and you definitely want to know the background of whoever you're going against in some regard, just to give you something to prepare for. But you always got to just be ready to adjust at a moment's notice.